High in the mountains of Hokkaido, Japan, rescue teams were searching for two missing hikers who had vanished after a violent storm. Visibility was poor, the terrain was unforgiving, and daylight was fading fast. Then suddenly, through the fog, something appeared. A massive SOS sign. It was carved into a clearing just south of Mount Asahi-dake, large enough to be seen from the air. Thick birch logs neatly arranged, spelling out a clear cry for help. The rescue team was relieved. Whoever made this sign was alive, or at least had been. Hours later, they found the two missing hikers, alive, shaken, but safe. When rescuers congratulated them for building the SOS sign that saved their lives, the hikers were confused. They said they never built any sign, and they had no idea what the rescuers were talking about. That's when the situation changed from a rescue to a mystery. The SOS sign was located nearly 3 miles off the main trail, in a wetland area with no marked paths. To reach it, someone would have had to descend steep cliffs, navigate dense forest, and cross a fast-moving river. Whoever built it didn't wander there by accident. The next day, search teams returned to investigate the sign more closely. Nearby, they discovered scattered human remains. Wildlife had already damaged the bones. Close to them was a backpack containing a Sony Walkman, cassette tapes, soap, and basic hygiene items. It was clear someone had died here, but the question was, how? The SOS sign was built from 19 birch logs, each around 16 feet long. Even conservatively, the total weight of the logs would have been well over a ton. This wasn't a desperate scratch in the dirt. It was a construction project. Medical examiners initially determined the remains belonged to a woman between 20 and 40 years old, about 5 feet 3 inches, with multiple bone fractures. She had been dead for at least a year. That finding created a disturbing contradiction. How could someone injured, alone, and dying in harsh conditions manage to cut down massive trees, move them, and build a sign of that scale? And where were the tools? Things became even stranger when investigators listened to the cassette tapes found in the backpack. Most contained music, but one recording stood out. It was a man's voice, clearly distressed, calling for help, describing himself as trapped and unable to climb. The voice spoke only of himself, no mention of another person. Yet the bones were said to belong to a woman. 2 people, 1 location, no overlap. Years later, a journalist revisited the site and made another discovery. Buried belongings just north of the SOS sign, including cameras and an ID. The ID belonged to a man named Kenji Iwamura, a young hiker who disappeared on Mount Asahi-dake years earlier after ignoring storm warnings. Police believed they had solved the case. But when Kenji's parents heard the recording, they didn't recognize the voice. Then everything unraveled further. In 1990, the remains were re-examined and quietly reclassified. No longer female, but male. Different blood type, different profile. No official explanation was ever given for the mistake. The case was closed anyway. Today, one theory suggests hikers often mistake a landmark called fake safe rock for the real trail marker, leading them down the mountain's deadly south side. It may explain how multiple people ended up in the same place, but it doesn't explain the SOS sign. It doesn't explain the strength required to build it. It doesn't explain the voice on the tape. And it doesn't explain why, after decades, the bones have still never been officially identified. Some believe more than one person died there. Others believe the timeline doesn't line up at all, as if 2 separate tragedies collided in the same place, years apart. What's certain is this: that SOS sign should not exist, and whoever built it never lived long enough to be saved.